Hello everyone, it's me, Michael. I'm back for another episode of What If. This one is episode 4, What If Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands. This has to be my favorite episode yet. Let's get into it. So, this one is the best one yet because it's an excellent Doctor Strange story. It also has a bad ending to it. And by bad, I mean like bad guy winning but at the same time not winning. I'll get into it. First, we got spoilers here, so if you don't want to know what happens, go watch the episode. And if you are here, well, that's great because you're in for a very good ride. I'm going to share my thoughts on this. And before I begin, I want you to go down and click the like button. And also subscribe if you haven't already. I'm slowly building my way up, and while it's been slow, I've been enjoying this past year of making content and putting it on the internet. So let's get into this with what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands, and follows the story on what if the love of his life, Christine, was in the car that night and died instead of him losing the ability to use his hands, and it drives him down a dark path. As he goes down this path, he continually goes back in time over and over and over again to try to save Christine. And you just really feel for him. Like, he must have tried hundreds of times. And if the car doesn't get her, a gangster will. And if the same car behind them doesn't crash into them, then it'll be a big semi-truck. It's just over and over again. She keeps on dying, and each time his facial features just grow weary because he's trying to look his best to stay happy for her each time he goes back, but he knows what's going to happen, and he's starting to lose hope. But the Ancient One appears, tells him that this is set in stone, and he cannot move it from its motion. And that's when you start feeling the real creativity of this episode, and you know what it's all about. What if a master of reality cannot accept reality? And so in a big turn of events, Doctor Strange is able to go to an ancient library, and there he meets an old librarian who manages to live out quite a long time with them while he's there and teach him some lessons about life and death, all of which he ignores. He's not really being forced to hear this because the librarian knows it's kind of futile, but he tries to help Strange anyway in some not so direct ways. But anyway, Doctor Strange learns that the only way he can bring Christine back is by consuming the energy of other life forms, and you start to feel for these animals as he just sucks the life out of them. And he'll grab whatever that they have on him to make his new costume and starts to corrupt them to the point where he's so desperate that he'll just start taking the energy from everybody worldwide, and he will consume it all and become bigger and more powerful in this desperate attempt to save Christine. So it turns out that when the older other Doctor Strange, the one from this reality who became corrupted, faced off against the Ancient One after she told him that he shouldn't go back in time and do all this crazy stuff, she manages to split the timeline within the same reality and create a normal Doctor Strange, the one that we know. And they both duel in this really well-made animated battle of two Doctor Stranges fighting against each other. And Doctor Strange, he's able to resist going back for Christine, unlike this more evil one. But here's where the big twist comes in. In his big effort to save Christine, and grief is a real motivational tool if you don't get over it, for doing the most evil things. This new Doctor Strange, he consumes our good Doctor Strange. And as he sees Christine again and is able to revive her, she starts to fade away. And she's utterly repulsed at the sight of his now grotesque form, that he just can't take it anymore. And he sees the Watcher, and he says to the Watcher, "Please help me save her." And the Watcher says that he would punish this evil Doctor Strange if it wouldn't interfere with time, but it will, so he can do nothing to save this place. And as everything crumbles around, Doctor Strange cries quite a bit, feels sorry for himself, and then this reality crumbles to dust. And that's it. We get the bad ending. And I think that was such a neat twist on what can happen when you don't get over grief, and what happens when a master of reality cannot master reality. While I couldn't remember Christine that well, I thought that Doctor Strange's motivation was so amazingly strong-willed, and this bad ending was really unique. What if some of these realities just can't stand up? Some of them have to go. Why not just a bad Doctor Strange episode? And I think this is what If should be. Not these dumb gender and race swap episodes, of which there will be one with Gamora, but real stories with real consequences, not just what if this character was a different character but more diverse. And then they'd go through the same exact story and have a very similar ending. Or one that's so insanely happy that you think you want to throw up. But this one was different. They introduced something that was realistic. The good guys don't always win. And sometimes even the bad guy realizes his own mistakes, but it's too late to fix them. Anyway, I'm going to recommend you go like and subscribe, like I said at the beginning of the video. And go watch this episode for yourself. I give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. It's pretty great, and I hope to see more of this unique stuff from What If, because this really showed the show's potential, where I thought they was just going to be a bunch of woke garbage with dumb gender and race swaps all the way through, with a couple of episodes that I might somewhat enjoy. But it's starting to pick up, and the 2 episodes that weren't gender and race swaps were pretty darn good. So go check it out. And if you want to, go check out more videos on this channel. I got more on the way. Catch you next time. And remember, if you're going through some grief, reach out to someone. Don't become like this Doctor Strange who ruined his own reality due to his selfishness. Or not just selfishness, but because he couldn't realize that he was wrong until the last second.